Welcome back to the channel. Today's story comes from Reddit. Let's dive right in. I'm a 38-year-old woman. I have a younger sister, she's 36, and she has an 11-year-old daughter, my niece. About 3 years ago, my sister married her husband, who is now my niece's stepdad. My sister and I grew up in a very abusive religious household. We were denied food in the name of fasting. We were hit with switches and cords. Exorcisms were performed on us. And because I'm gay, I was forced into conversion therapy. When we finally got older and educated ourselves, it was clear that our parents were full of lies. We both became atheists and swore never to repeat the same abuse. But when she met her husband, she instantly changed. She got on board with all of his religious beliefs. For months, she tried to pull me into it too. I had to firmly tell her I didn't want to hear it. It hurt our relationship, but I refused to let religion get shoved down my throat again. Her husband is especially hostile to me. He's asked multiple times if he could introduce me to a good Christian man to straighten me out, even though I'm a lesbian. He's even insinuated that I might be inappropriate with my niece, which is disgusting. He never tries to genuinely talk with me, only to argue about whatever he thinks is woke at the moment. I've kept my distance. I greet him politely, make some small talk, then avoid him. These days, I only attend family functions where I know my niece will miss me if I don't show up. But he's made it clear he doesn't want her visiting my home anymore, which has broken both our hearts. My niece and I used to spend fun weekends together. Waffles and movie nights were our tradition. She recently asked if we could do it again, but her parents shut it down. Then a family emergency happened. My sister and her husband needed someone to take care of my niece and their dog for a week. They said they had called everyone else first, but when nobody else agreed, they asked me. I said yes right away. Of course, her husband still had to warn me not to have any funny business with my niece. When my niece arrived, she seemed surprised by my home. She explained that her parents always told her I lived in a house of sin. I gently asked her if my house looked any different than a normal one. She admitted it didn't. We settled in and had our usual waffles and movie night. But a few days later, she came into my room at 1 a.m, bawling and shaking. She said she was terrified that I would burn in hell for being a sinful woman, as her parents call me. I hugged her and explained that I wasn't going to hell. I asked if she thought I hurt people. She said no, that I'm nice. I asked if it made sense that a nice person would go to hell. She said no, it didn't. She calmed down, and I let her sleep in my room. The next day, she was better, but she kept asking me about hell. She repeated what her parents told her, that the Bible says I'm going to hell. Finally, I told her that I don't believe in hell, and I don't believe in God. I said I just try to be kind and do the right thing because that's what matters to me. She seemed both confused and relieved. From then on, she kept asking me more questions. I stayed honest but diplomatic. I didn't insult religion. I just explained that when I read the Bible, it didn't make sense to me, especially compared with history and science. I told her everyone gets to decide what to believe for themselves. After the week ended, she went home. 2 days later, I got a furious call from my brother-in-law. He screamed that I was a demon who twisted and tempted my niece, trying to make her sinful and gay like me. I told him off and hung up. Then my sister called. She said my niece told them everything and that I should have pretended to believe in their religion out of respect for them. I told her that for 3 years I've stayed quiet and swallowed every insult for my niece's sake. But when my niece was crying in my arms, terrified that I'd burn forever, I was not about to lie. I told her the truth, that I don't believe in hell, and that teaching a child that their loved ones will burn in fire forever is abuse. Now my sister says I can't see my niece anymore. It hurts deeply, but I stand by what I did. First, I never insulted religion. I only answered her questions honestly. Second, No child should be in tears fearing for a family member's eternal torment. That's abusive. Third, my sister and her husband caused this themselves by bad-mouthing me for years and then sending my niece to me. Of course, she was going to be confused. And fourth, it is not my job to pretend I share beliefs I don't, especially given the trauma our parents inflicted on me. So, do you think I was wrong for telling my niece that hell isn't real? What do you think about this situation? Was I wrong for being honest with my niece, or was I right to tell her the truth? Share your thoughts in the comments below.